Hello, my friends, and welcome to The Simple Sober Life. It's Joshua Abel, and it is Friday! It's such a beautiful day out. There's not a cloud in the sky. It has cooled down just a little bit, so it's probably high 80s, low 90s, maybe somewhere around there. A nice little breeze, so it's great. Now, what makes this even better? I only had a half day at work. They were doing some sort of open house or anything, and they had people come in from out of town checking out the robot thing, and they fed us some pulled pork and some fried chicken, and I was in the parking lot before I swallowed the last bite because they were like, "After lunch you can go." I'm like, "Bam! I am out of here." So I'm going to start my weekend early. Not exactly sure what I've got on the menu for this weekend. I know that there's an international festival in Spartanburg tomorrow, so I might check that out. We'll see how it goes. But I am going to tear the dirt off of me by showering and see where I land. All right, I hope you're having a fantastic Friday, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. So I am showered and all cleaned and feel so much more relaxed. Having this extra half a day off is such a blessing. I think I might actually go in and take a nap. I haven't done that in several weeks during the weekdays. There was a guy on a motorcycle. So I came home from, I got into the parking lot today. That motorcycle reminded me. And some of the guys up at work, they ride around on a motorcycle, and me, I kind of rouse with them a little bit, and like, dude, I could take you on my moped. I could blow you out of the water. And they push back at it, we have fun with it. Well, I go out to the parking lot today, and the guys who ride the motorcycles all blocked me in. They're all parked in front of my moped, so I couldn't get out. It was weird. But it was so funny. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about was the importance of asking for help and how it can actually save your life. Mentally, physically, in business. Growing up, I actually had a huge ego, if you can imagine that. And sometimes I still have a huge ego. Growing up, I kind of prided myself on being able to do everything for myself. At least I thought I could do everything for myself. I got really good grades in school. I did my homework myself. That was all me. I studied, I did the homework, I took the tests, I did what I needed to do in order to get those good grades. When it came to finding jobs, I went out, I applied, I interviewed, I got the jobs. And when I was a national air rifle champion, I practiced and I worked really hard to gain that title. So everything that I've done when I was younger, I thought I was doing it all on my own. I never considered the support system I had behind me, people rooting me on and things like that. I always had it in my head that I was doing it all by myself. And so I never asked for help, ever. Growing up and now having matured, I'm finding it a lot easier to ask for help. I used to think that asking for help was a sign of weakness, but I'm starting to realize that it actually makes other people feel good when you ask them for help. People, I believe, naturally have an inclination to help other people. I believe that others are genuinely good and they like to help other people. I know that whenever someone asks me for help, I generally am more than happy to help out. Either lend them knowledge, help them out physically, whatever the case may be. And I enjoy doing that. So I just take it for granted and believe that other people think that the same way. I might be wrong, and I know not everyone is like that, but I believe that the vast majority are. But like I was saying, asking for help was the hardest thing. And, it wasn't until I started asking for help that I actually started to understand myself as a person, know my limitations, and actually begin to understand people more. So, when I was drinking, it eventually got to a point where I couldn't stop. If I had that alcohol, if I bought that bottle or whatever, I would drink it. There was no such thing as putting it in a cabinet and having a cocktail once in a while. It was bottoms up and taking care of that entire bottle. And it wasn't until, I was able to reach out for help through AA and through family support and things like that, that I was able to, get a hold of that and kind of tame that demon. So, it's a real humbling experience when you have to ask for help. I had to swallow my pride and, admit that I had faults and that I wasn't a perfect person. And, I actually had to reach my hand out and ask for help. Same thing in business. When I first started my digital marketing company several years ago, I had never run a business before. I had just barely got out of film school. Pardon me, I didn't even graduate from film school. I went through a lot of my coursework. I had the basic principles. But, when I started my business and doing digital marketing and things like that, I had to reach out to other business owners and ask them, I'm like, what the heck do I do? What do I do? It was amazing. I decided I'm going to start a business. I made that declaration and I did. And clients didn't automatically just pop up and be like, hey, we'd love to give you money. Even though you have no experience, you've never done business before, and we don't even know who you are. So, I had to go out and ask for help. I had to go out and ask for referrals. I had to go out and ask about, accounting and public relations and marketing and all this other stuff. I had to get knowledge from other people. And the only way that I was able to do that was by asking for help. And now, that I have, the experience and everything like that, I enjoy helping other people with that. If someone's starting a business, and they're thinking about one thing but can't really figure out how to do it, I'll come up with a creative solution and offer that advice and offer that help. And because people have done it for me, and I look forward to more people giving me help and me offering help. Mentally, there was a period where I just had to go see a therapist. It was time. And, I should have done it, 20 years ago or so. But I saw that as being weak. And so I just kind of shut that part of my life out. But in, seeing a therapist, and mine, she wasn't the best therapist. I think she preferred to listen to herself talk more than actually addressing what I wanted to address. But I still got some, tidbits of information out, or tidbits of information from it. I was able to open up and talk things out. And sometimes, talking things out loud to someone else really helps. You can actually process, is this logical? Am I reacting out of emotion? Am I on the right path, or does something else make more sense to do? So, going to see a therapist, asking for that help. So there are a number of different ways, to ask for help. Like I said, that asking for help is always one of the hardest things for me to do. Just at work the other day, I have a pretty physically demanding job, and it can be very dangerous if I'm not careful, if I don't take proper procedures and things like that. I was lifting up, it had to be, 120-pound angle plate. And I was using a crane, so it was giving me help. Sometimes we have to ask machines for help. And it started spinning. It started spinning around. It only picked up half of it, and it was going all over the place. And I'm like, oh crap, what do I do? And granted, this was the first time I'd ever used this type of machinery before. I didn't ask anyone how to use it, the proper way to do it. And then the guy working with me comes over, and he just kind of watches for a second. He's like, you want some help? Yeah, I could use a little help. So he came over and, we got it situated and where it needed to be. But something as silly as that, I was letting my ego and my pride in the way, and it could have been a lot worse. Thank God I wear steel toe shoes, otherwise my toes would be crushed by now. But in maturing, and I'm glad I'm at this point in my life. I'll look in the mirror and be like, oh God, where'd the time go? But the emotional stability I have today is very rewarding, and I'm finding there are a number of different ways to ask for help. First and foremost, asking someone that I know and trust is a lot easier than asking a complete stranger. In business, I started developing relationships. I would build a trust with those people, and I felt very comfortable going to them and asking for help. My ex was a therapist, actually, and at that point, I didn't really like to talk things out, but unconsciously, he kind of instilled it in me that of how important it is to talk things out. And so, he helped me in a lot of ways. So going and asking someone that you know and trust kind of eases the blow to the ego. Also, getting a mentor, whether you have to pay for that mentor or, it's just someone in your company or in your industry that has been doing it for a while, and kind of becoming a protege of sorts is a great way to ask for help. That way, you're developing skills, I'm developing skills, and it's kind of a two-way street. I believe, I've been a mentor to people, and I've definitely been a protege to others. And so it's a give and take either way. As a mentor, I learn a lot of new ideas and new ways of thinking from proteges. And, as a protege, I learn the tips and tricks of the trade, and I learn from experience, which is invaluable. You won't get on the job experience sitting in a classroom. And, $130,000 in student loan debt just to learn that lesson is pretty valuable, because I've learned so much more and gotten so much more help on the job than I ever did opening a book. Going to support meetings for business or for mental health is a great way to ask for help. If you're an alcoholic or an addict, AA, NA, those type of support groups are a great way to ask for help. And those are great because you're not alone. It's, a bunch of people in a room with the same common goal. And for business, I've gone to a couple, not recently, but I've gone to a couple of meetups, for creative writing, for marketing, for all these different things. And those are fantastic for, making connections, building relationships, getting ideas, and things like that. So I highly suggest, if you're starting a business, if you're a seasoned vet in business, join a couple of meetups. Just to get those creative juices flowing, figure out different ways to do something, similar tasks. Something as simple as hiring a housekeeper. Those chores that eat away time, where you're not really making any money or anything like that. That can be a fantastic way to ask for help. I hate doing laundry. laundry. I'll put it in the washer. I'll change you over to the dryer, and I'll just keep starting over the dryer like 2 or 3 times because I don't want to fold laundry. So once I'm, in a position where I can afford a housekeeper, I might just hire someone to come in and do it for me. And then that way I can take my time and my expertise to, help other people through marketing, through personal development and things like that. It's a win-win. So those are a couple of different ways that I am finding that kind of easen the blow of asking for help. Because you know what? We're all in this together. None of us are, so mighty that we can do everything on our own. And believe me, I've tried. I've tried to do it all on my own, and it just doesn't work. I end up half-assing everything when I try to do everything alone. So being able to delegate and ask for help has been so rewarding. I hope you got value out of this. If you did, give me a thumbs up. I'm not sure why I high-fived you. That's kind of weird, right? Give me a thumbs up. Also subscribe. You'll be notified each time I create a video if you hit that bell. And comment down below. Let me know what situations you asked for help for and how it turned out. Also, make sure to check out my blog. See, here I am doing a billion different things. I just released one this week. You might enjoy it at thesimplesoberlife.com. I hope you're having a fantastic Friday, my friends. Enjoy. Take care.